Tyler Clark, local card magician. Happy to be back to bring you another episode of hopefully easy to follow card magic that you can do at home with a simple deck of playing cards. For this particular trick, we're going to take our deck. They can be shuffled. You can shuffle it. Your spectator can shuffle it. It doesn't really matter. You're going to break into 3 piles of roughly the same size. They don't have to be exact, but if you go through and you pick like one here and one, and you, as you can see, they're not going to be exactly the same size, but they don't have to be. They can be close enough. Now you're going to have your spectator pick a pile, 1, 2, or 3. Let's say they pick 2. So whatever the card on the top is going to be their card. If they want to pick a different card, just make sure it's the card on the top. So that's going to be their card right there. And you're going to take this pile, you're going to turn it over. You're going to put it on either pile 1 or 3. And let's say they pick 3. So then you're going to do this. So what you're doing here is you're making essentially a sandwich of face down, face up, and face up cards. If we go about halfway in the deck, that's about halfway, we're going to cut. And then what I like to do is shuffle. And as you can see when you do this, it's just a whole big jumbled mess of cards. A lot of face-up ones and a lot of face-down ones. So what I do is I like to cut. So again, we go about, halfway or so here, whatever. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make 2 piles. One face up and one face down. So we have our face up. Oop, that one sneaked in there. Face up cards. And we have our face down cards. Face down, face up, face down, and those are all going to be face up. And we turn those over, and those are all also going to be face up. Now you would ask your spectator at this point, what's the card? Okay, and they would say, in this circumstance, I know it's the 5 of diamonds. So you say, okay. So if I were to look now and I snap, snapping is a great tool as a magician, but it doesn't really do anything, obviously. All the cards here would be face down. If I do this way, all the cards would be face up in theory, correct? But if I spread, you'll notice that all of the cards are going to be face up. And as I go through these, one of them and only one of them is going to be face down. And if done correctly, the one face down card is the 5 of diamonds. Very simple explanation as to how this is done. I don't exactly know how it works, but if you set it up like this, it works every time. So once again, you're going to do your 3 vaguely even piles. They pick a pile 1, 2, or 3. Let's say they pick 1 this time. This is going to be their card. I'm going to show it to the camera. Again, to show you how to do it, I'll look and see what it is. Okay, so I know it's the 7 of diamonds. They would tell you that later. Turn it over, you put it here, you put the other cards on top, making a sandwich. Halfway, it doesn't have to be exact, about roughly halfway, you take the cards. Here's what you do this time. When you shuffle, what you want to do is you want to turn the deck over, because if you do it this way, it won't work. You're going to turn the deck over. And somewhere in here, the 7 of diamonds should be face down. And where is the 7 of diamonds going to be? It always ends up working out that their card is going to be after a big string of face-up cards. I don't quite know how that works, but that's what it is. So as you can see, we have a big string of face-up cards right there, which means, if I had done correctly, this card right there, that is the 7 of diamonds. That's your card that you want. But we need to now get the 7 of diamonds into a pile with face-up cards. And here's how I like to do it. If I do a cut, now I'm bringing all the face-up cards to the top of the deck. But if you go through and you show it quickly, and you're like, okay, I'm going to make a couple piles now of face-up and face-down cards. So here's my face-up cards that I'm doing, and I start putting the face-down ones. But what I did in the middle of this face-up pile, you may have seen this, but if you do it in front of a spectator, it's very fast. I do have my sneaky face-down card, which is the 7 of diamonds right in there. And the rest of them, you just sort out naturally. So you're putting face down here, you're putting face down, no I didn't, oops, put your face down here. Now you can flip them over too, like if you want to make these face up cards, you want to make that a face down card, it doesn't matter. These are all going to be face up cards, face down, face up, face down, face up, face down, face up, face down. Those are face up, face down, and those are all going to be face up cards. Now you're going to take these, turn them over, and you can put some on the top and some at the bottom. So you're basically making all of the cards face the same direction, but as you know, one of them isn't. Now this is when you can model. If you were to say, I turn them over and all the cards are face down, if I do them, they're all going to be face up. I like to use snapping here. As I said, snapping, it makes the audience think that something's happening when it's really not. And if I spread here, which you don't have to spread, you can just like fan out the cards or like show, you'll see they're all face up now, except one is face down, which here is the 7 of diamonds. I will do it one more time, a little bit faster, to show how it could look in real time. You can shuffle, your audience can shuffle, doesn't matter. 3 piles, 1, 2, and 3. They pick pile, I don't know, 3 this time. Then they take a card, that's going to be their card. Coincidentally, I'm told it's the 6 of diamonds this time. That was coincidence. They put it here, put the other one on top. Okay, you go about halfway. Shuffle together, any way to get the cards combined. And now you show, I like to show that, guess what happens? Absolutely nothing, it's just a jumbled mess of cards, which is very accurate. Do a cut like here, then you go through and be like, actually I'll stick those at the bottom as well. You're like, okay, so we're going to now make 2 piles, face down, face up, like this. Face down, face up, face down, face up, face down, face up, face down, and then like that. And we can turn over, we stick some there, we stick some at the end. You can snap if you want. The card this time is the 6 of diamonds, which you can either do this face up, like here. I like to do it face up because there's the mystery of the card being face down, but if you slide and all the cards are face down except that one, that also works too. So now if we slide, you'll notice all of the cards in the deck are going to be face up, except one face down card remains, which I'll put right there off to the side. Because I've done correctly, that one face up card is in fact the 6 of diamonds. This one might be a little tricky to figure out, but if you practice the shuffling and getting the card in a certain place in the deck to the top and making sure that you get it face down in a pile of face up cards without your audience knowing, that's kind of what the key is. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you can practice it. If you do, let me know how you're doing with it. I'd like to show you a trick that I've been really working on and including in my performances lately. One of my favorite ones that I've learned how to do, and I'd like to show you how to do it as well. For this one, you're going to have your audience pick a number to start with from, it doesn't really matter. Let's say they pick 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's the 8th card, which we're going to turn this over, which is the 10 of hearts. We're going to take this 10 of hearts, we're going to put it halfway in the deck. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So we're going to put the 10 halfway, so it's halfway through. Now you're going to do the same thing again, but you're going to ask your audience to pick another number. You're going to go from the bottom this time. Let's say they pick 17. So we're going to go the 17th card from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and this is going to be the 17th card right here. So I'm going to show this to the camera, but that's going to be what their card is. Okay. We put this here, we're going to bring the other cards onto the top. If you might remember, we put one card in halfway, and there's a reason for this, because that way we can always see where that face up card is there. So if I do a couple of cuts, I want to be bringing that face up card, and you can see how it's now moved to near the top of the deck. So we're going to divide now into 2 even piles of 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. And we did that, again, remember, it's moved, and you can see where it's moved because we put it halfway in originally. Now, you can have your spectator verify that there's 26 cards in this pile as well, but there's 20, just for the sake of time, there's 26 in each pile. What you're gonna do now is you're gonna put one card face down at a time from each pile. You ask your audience member at this point, what's the card? I know, I was told that the card is the Jack of Spades, but usually you wouldn't know what the card is until your audience member tells you, which is important. We're going to keep doing like this until we come to the face-up card. The face-up card here is going to be the 10 of Hearts. And we put down cards in each pile because doing that has actually summoned the Jack of Spades on the other side as well. Now, usually your audience member at this point is pretty stunned. This is when you can really, crank up the volume a bit, because then I would like to say, the trick isn't over yet. Because finding the Jack of Spades has also actually summoned all 4 aces to the top of each deck. And this is when your audience members should probably stare at you like, how did this just happen? Which is when you casually say, oh, by the way, we're not done yet. Because the 2 aces, the red aces and the black aces, what they have actually done is they have sorted the rest of the cards out. What I mean by that is the red aces were guarding all of the red cards, which are now sorted, and the black aces have sorted all of the black cards into 2 different piles. Now, you may be watching this and wondering, how the heck did he just do that? And I would like to show you how I just did that. And here's the basic setup. This one does require a bit of setup in advance. Now, you can do this trick with the matching the 10 of Hearts and the Jack of Spades. It'll work with that. You just won't get the fun aces and red and black cards at the end, which I like to add as an extra layer. Before you start the trick, you want to put your aces out separately, so that each side. Then you want to make sure that you have a pile of only black cards, and then you have a pile of only red cards. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take the aces and you're going to put them one on the bottom and one on the top, and the bottom and the top. Now, you can put the black on the red or the red on the black. This part doesn't matter. So let's say we put the black up here. So if you look through your deck, you have an ace on the bottom, you have all red cards, which end with another red ace, and then a black ace all the way up to the other ace. So you have 2 aces that are touching each other, because that's going to be the important part. You have your audience member pick a number. Now, you want them to pick a number under 26, and you don't want them to pick 1. If they pick 1, you can always count off 1 and give them a card, but try to guide them if they happen to pick a larger number. When I've done this trick, that's never happened. They usually pick a number between 5 and 20 most of the time, but try to guide them in that direction. Let's say they pick 13. So you want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's the 13th card. Now, this is just going to be a random black card. It really doesn't matter what it is. So 4 of clubs. You're going to put this, the 26th position in the deck, because that's halfway. It's at 52 cards, so it was an even number, so you can't get it exactly halfway. And I'll show you why we're going to put it in the 26th position in just a moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So this is the 26th position. Now, why am I putting this in the 26th position? Because the 2 cards surrounding it are 1 ace and the other ace, which is going to be very important later on. That's why we had 2 aces in the middle, because it's going to be exactly halfway between the aces. So now you're going to do the same thing, but from the bottom of the deck. So have them pick a number from 1 to 25. Try to guide them in that direction. If they try to pick a bigger number, just be like, let's go a little bit under, because we just put that card halfway. It has to be underneath, so although they pick 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this is going to be a truly random red card. I'll show it to the camera here. Now, this is the part that I kept getting confused out when I was learning it. You want to take your red card, you want to put it on the top of the big deck. Then you're going to take the other cards and you're going to bring them up here. And why? Because this card right here should be the other ace, one of the aces that was on the top, because we counted straight down. And we're going to bring that and put it right there. That's going to be important later. Now, you have to remember, don't shuffle the deck at this point. You can do cuts as long as the cards remain in the same order. But you're going to show your audience and be like, see how we have one face-up card here? You want to bring that as close to the top of the deck as you can. And there's going to be a reason for that. So let's say here. So now you can see that the card has moved. So this is when you break into 2 piles of 26, but you don't want to change the order. So watch as I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Notice how I didn't change the order. I kept them in the same order. If you do count straight down on the table, just make sure that you just reverse that. And then there'll be 26 in this pile as well, because 26 plus 26 is 52. If you want to count the 26 or have your audience member do it, then that's fine, but I'm not going to do that right now. So we're going to put our cards in the same thing face down here. And if we did our cuts correctly, here is the 4 that we put in before, and the card directly next to it is in fact the Queen of Hearts, which is your audience's card. But if we set up the deck in the proper manner before, and we do this, because they're usually going to be confused at this point, and then this next part really hits them when they don't expect it, which is when all 4 aces appear because of the way we set up the deck. So now they're going to be extra confused. If you do it one more time, it'd be like we're not done yet. You put your aces off to the side. You can stack them together, or you can, just kind of show. Here are the red aces, all red cards. And the black aces, again, all black cards. So again, you can really get your audience with it. I hope that you're able to follow that. I don't know if there's a way that I can explain it again. You just have to have the deck set up. Again, you have your black aces on the top. You could go in here randomly. So red ace, a bunch of red cards, red ace, black ace, black cards, black ace. And however you set it up, the top, bottom, just make sure they pick 2 numbers under 26. And then the rest is pretty much just self-working. It may take you a bit of practice to get it to work, but I think that you'll be able to figure it out with a bit of effort and practice. So I hope you were able to follow that and enjoy.